All right, guys, come with me on an amazing journey to a luxury resort in Cancun. But went I checked it out here over spring break, and it was a beautiful place. And you guys know I'm a numbers guy, so they actually had a vacational ownership. That's how they switch it up, but it's essentially the timeshare concept. But I'll be honest, this was the first one that made some sense. So check this out. Beautiful restaurants. This one here is the Mexican restaurants on the ground. It's Villas del Mar. It's the part we're staying in, but it's connected to Garza Blanca. Here we have some fajitas that we had that was quite delicious there. Had a couple tacos, el pastor, the chicken, and the steak as well. Those were good. This was all included in the all-inclusive plan. And here is our room. Now, this hotel portion is about 15 or 17 years old, but you could tell this was quality. It was luxury. It was great interest. It was wide with space. This is the one bedroom, and it functions as an apartment. Has everything you can need. Full kitchen. You see your stove over there and the microwave. Even a washer and dryer, which I love this because you didn't have to go home with dirty clothes. You wash your clothes before you left. So that was amazing. Here's a quick view again. Like I say, very tastefully designed. Very large open floor plan. 2 full bathrooms. Here's the bathroom off the living area. But it was a nice full shower, toilet, sink. And this was an amazing charcuterie presentation when we entered the property in our room. Very nice layout. Like I said, they rolled out the red carpet. This was a great experience. Top-notch food. Service was excellent. And I'm a real estate guy, so I'm looking at the details, the small things where they did spend the extra money. All the natural stone, the jacuzzi cup in the master area. You got your nice TV there. Just a great room. You see here, shades were electronic. Just an amazing place and space to wake up to. I truly enjoyed the amenities there. Again, you got your natural stone on the balcony there. And the hammock. The hammock was awesome. It was a nice, very relaxing hammock there. Here's a quick view of the grounds. There's several pools here. You see the pool there in the background. We were on the second floor. Now we're walking over there. We'll show you some of the areas throughout the property. As I say, lights up very beautiful in the evening, at night. And I'll show you some of the pools there as well. Here is the first area pool. And this one, it was cool. There wasn't a ton of people in it all the time. So if you wanted to get away from the larger crowds, this was a great pool. Here, there was also these little side pools that was cool. There was these random side pools. I think there were 2 of them, 2 or 3. And here is like the main pool where everybody would hang out during the day. It was massive. Still had plenty of room for all the guests who were there. It was early in the morning, I believe, on this. So it's not full, but this thing did get packed. Here is the space for the buffet. And, of course, it's right in front of the beach. The buffet was another level. Like I say, this is luxury resort. You see all the fine prime meats. They were doing steaks. This happened to be Easter weekend, so they did have some additional specials. And that was the Easter buffet. I mean, they laid it out. Culinary experts. Here you see a seafood paella that I enjoyed. It was very tastefully done. Everything was just classy, beautiful. Look at your octopus, look at your seafood. Just lay it out there. As I said, it's high-end. Not your traditional food you see. This was Easter, so they did go a little over the top. But I've noticed all the other days, the culinary experience at this place was exceptional. I mean, just look at the layout, the attention to detail, the fresh breads, the pastries. It was quite a sight to see. And there you go. That's my seafood paella. Like I say, they laid it out. You get everything you want. Langostinos and shrimps, mussels, clams. The dessert section. Again, this was the Easter buffet, so it was extreme. But every other day, it still had an amazing display of desserts and culinary expertise. So it truly shined in the culinary area. I mean, just look at this. The beach, beautiful beach, soft white sand. It was exceptional. I live in DR, so I'm on the beach all the time, but I'll say this sand was very, very nice, soft and white. Here's a quick night view of that space. The pool lit up, just very peaceful, very serene, just an amazing experience and place to relax. And here's another quick view. I'm going to walk down the beach line. They had sargassum, but they did an amazing job of cleaning it up. I noticed I go walking early in the morning. They were out there cleaning it up, and even throughout the days. So they kept that beach pretty free of the sargassum, which I found pretty incredible. You see some there building up, but they were constantly cleaning it up, and that's a tough thing to catch. Here we got a ceviche. It was a shrimp and octopus ceviche. That was exceptional at the snack bar during the day. And you have some chips. The chips were a little tough. If I could say anything, I'd say cut them a little thinner so they're not so hard. Here's the front. This is I'd say probably the only complaint, and they can't control this. So I hadn't been in Mexico in quite some time. And apparently they passed a law where there's like no smoking. So a lot of the areas where you could smoke before, you cannot. So this was like the smoking area. They showed us no love. You guys know I'm a big cigar smoker. So that was my only gripe. In the sun, it was hot. They put no effort into that, I'll be honest. Here's Garza Blanca next door. Amazing, new, modern property. This one is much, much, much newer, maybe just a year or two old. And you see the carousel there, which was pretty cool. And here's the view from Garza Blanca on the rooftop. This, like I say, it's super new, super modern, ultra luxury, and it shows. Oftentimes, people use that luxury term for me a little too loosely, but I look at the build quality, the materials used, and they spent some major money. One side has a beautiful view of all this greenery, and these are protected lands, so that will remain. And then on that other side, you just seen, it's the ocean view, which is a exceptional property there. I mean, wow, you're waking up to that on the daily while you're enjoying the Garza Blanca Resort. Just a beautiful, exceptional, well thought out property. Here's the pool area here at the Garza Blanca. You can hang out, relax. They have multiple pools on this side as well. And people who use this side, check out the hammocks with just great thought and detail. People who use this side also are allowed to go to the other one. Now, this is what really did it for me. So here's one of the units that you can get. And it's an amazing place, right? So I'm looking at the details, the money they've spent on the wood and the flooring. Of course, the views are already there. The furniture, it's all very, very nice, sturdy, and quality. The design, hats off to the person who designed it. The bathrooms, you notice that half oval bowl there. This partition, which is beautifully mastered, but yet open, creates that separation, but yet keeps it open. I was very impressed with the design, the finishes, the materials. Here's another look at that half partition that creates that division, but it's still open. Here you are in the bathroom, in the main bedroom in this unit. It's just exceptional detail. The backlighting on the headrest, the beautiful woods. I can't say it was an amazing way they put the place together. The design was exceptional, modern. You see, and tons. You see that massive sliding door he just opened. The stainless steel throughout this thing was unbelievable. This here I thought was pretty cool. Great design throughout. It was an exceptional place. There you are, the views again. This is from the balcony on that unit. This unit had a massive balcony, and you'll see, and this was, I believe, the 2-bedroom unit, which wrapped around and had a jacuzzi as well. So you see the jacuzzi, and some of these 2-bedrooms offers you a rooftop deck even above this. I believe that's the 2 or 3-bedroom units, but there you have a beautiful view across the water. There you have Isla Mujeres. Just an exceptional place. Check out some more of this design. I believe this may be the 3-bedroom unit, which can do up to 8 or 9 people. But check it out. It is just, I was thoroughly impressed. The standalone soaking tubs, the showers, the marble, the finishes, the steel. This place was stunningly designed, just exceptional. I was at a loss for words. Very impressed. And I'm in real estate every day. I'm looking at properties, and I can say this was very tastefully done. Here is Legends of Sport Bar. When you look at your dining options, there's a couple of restaurants, and here's one you can choose. You select what dining preference, and you go there, or you can hit the buffet. This is like a sports bar, burgers and wings and snacks and stuff like that. That was open in the evening. Here we are, the grounds. We're back on the other side at Villas del Mar, Palmar, and it's beautiful there. Of course, at night, like I say, this property is older on this side, but it is very well maintained, and it's not like 40 years old. I believe it's something like 16 or 17, but it looks very, very great at night. It's great ambiance. As I say, thoroughly impressed. The only thing that frustrated me a little bit was the smoking, which they can't control. That's a countrywide mandate. So here we are checking out the buffet again. As you see some of the options, this is in the morning. Great organization of the fruits and oats and things for you to partake in. And it was just plentiful. Different types of fruits. Yeah, all types of apples, bananas, and watermelons and peaches. Everything you could think of. I was very surprised to see peaches there. And here you are, here in the pool area again. Like I say, this side is a little more calmer. Of course, I had to hit the gym. The gym was, like I say, you could see the age in there, but very well maintained, very clean. Everything you needed, from free weights to machines to cardio, everything you needed was located right here in this gym. And you're going to need it because the food's excellent. Check out this tostada that had shrimp and octopus. It was very tasty, very well seasoned. And I enjoyed this too. It was a chicken there and a chorizo, and it came with some fries, which had like a spicy ketchup. Very well done. Then I got some. I was happy this day. My goal was to get in 150 grams of protein, and this meal got me on my way. In the evening, for that same restaurant, this is the Mexican restaurant, you can dine al fresco out here outside, and this is the steakhouse. As I say, there's a steakhouse, there's an Italian place, there's a Mexican place, there's a sports bar. These are the restaurants you can select from to eat. This was interesting. They had a beef empanada at the steakhouse. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the coin crust here. Of course, right here we have a nice ceviche. That also was very delicious. And the drinks, I can't say too much. The drinks were amazing. They were well-crafted cocktails. You can tell this was a luxury experience by the cocktail menu. They had a nice ribeye, beautiful design, some potatoes, asparagus. Surprisingly, the mac and cheese was actually very good. And that's coming from a guy who sells a ton of mac and cheese per year. That mac and cheese was good. Nice piece of fish there. Great. And I finished it off. As you see, look at the attention to detail. This was a piece of carrot cake. It's just an exceptional dining experience. If you're on a foodie, you must try this place out. So here I am headed back after dinner for a nice walk. And walk off the steak and the carrot cakes and stuff. And here's another view of the beach. Like I say, the beach was exceptional. It was nice and soft, clear of any debris, any glass, or any rubbish. Just a very, very nice beach here. And now I'm standing out on that little pier looking back at the hotel from there. That's Garza Blanca right there. And then right next to it is Villas del Palmar. So there you have the two hotels fronting on the pier, which is completely open. You can walk out there and sit and relax. No chairs or anything there. You may have to take a chair with you or just, hang out and talk and chat a little bit, enjoy the beautiful breeze and the ocean. And right across, you can barely see that space, but that's Isla Mujeres. There's a ferry. That ferry right there takes you to Isla Mujeres. And it's about, I would say it's about $15, not too much money. And they'll take you over there. You can catch it back or take another ferry back and bring an Uber back to the hotel. So here you are. You see the beautiful beach, see the depths. They had a few toys on the beach that was included that I didn't realize till the last day. You could go out on a canoe, and they had another inflatable obstacle course. And here is the main pool where people hang out, have a good time, drink. They have some water aerobics classes that would take place daily and a couple other activities. So here we are at the Italian restaurant. Like I say, beautifully designed. It's just luxury, head to toe. You can see, check out this design. I love the design there on the ceiling with the LED lights, the pink and green, very plush, beautiful atmosphere to relax. And as I say, the cocktails are top tier cocktails. So you're not just saying, hey, we get a rum and coke. They have some very well crafted adult beverages there. As you see, I have one there. That was I think it was a twist on a whiskey sour at the pineapple. Here I ventured off. This was a beet carpaccio, and it came together very well. Had a nice salty mascarpone, I believe, cheese with it. Just exceptional. There's my fish for the evening. Like I say, the culinary experience here is top tier. This is not your typical food you see in a resort. I mean, it was unbelievable. Look at the black squid pasta with the octopus. Exceptional, exceptional. So there's a night view of the buffet area. Of course, like I say, right by the beach. This is like a massive pool jacuzzi. You can hang out there, very relaxing, enjoy a nice drink. And obviously adults and kids in that pool. And here's, of course, a bridge. Here's a quick little thing. So if you're like, hey, I want some more authentic food, if you go right out of the hotel and you go over to the right, take it to the right, there's a few things over here. So you just continue to follow this path, and I'll show you some little secrets because, you know me, I like to get out and about. This was a quick little walk there. There was a market. Now, and that, a lot of people like the drugs. They have 2 drugstores over there as well. Now, it's higher than normal stuff, but it's also things you cannot get maybe in the U.S. without prescriptions and stuff. So it's a lot less than the U.S., and you don't need a prescription. If you were to veer off into some other areas, you would be like, man, I found it for half of that price outside of the resort. But even though it's still inexpensive, they had a Domino's over there, and they also had a Subway if you just feel like I needed some of those flavors from back home. But I ventured off to find this little local taqueria over here, which I checked out, and, that's my thing, finding. I went in there. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Yes, this is a small home-based business, and the locals were there eating. So I tried a couple different tacos there. I had some beef and some pork. I had like a fried shrimp and a chicken and some rice. They were okay, right? They weren't the greatest tacos, but it was a great experience to be able to get out and see the locals. Of course, they had the glass bottle Mexican Coke, which that was good. I'm not a big soda drinker, but I had to try that while I was there. And I truly enjoyed the experience. It's a beautiful, beautiful resort. If you have the opportunity to look it up, Villas del Mar in Cancun, and Garza Blanca is the newer hotel. Beautiful place. I had a great experience. I'm headed back to DR to get back to work to sell my food and real estate. If you enjoyed this video, hit a like and subscribe. I'll take you on some of my channels. If you're interested in Dominican Republic, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you insight and help serve you. Thanks for watching. Catch me in the next video.